Hey guys, it's Tom from How to Wrangler here, and today I'm going to show you how to build a mesh screen for the top of your Jeep out of some DIY materials. It's pretty cheap and it's very easy to do, so let's jump right into this. I'm going to show you guys right now the products that you need for this build. Alright, so once you've gathered your materials, the first step is we're going to have to cut down the screen, the pet screen, to the size of the roof of your Jeep. Now I'm going to give you the dimensions for the Unlimited, and then I'll put a little note here of the dimensions for the standard two-door Jeep. So this is, the screen is 84 inches by 48 inches, and I'm going to do a fold over on the edges that I'm going to sew down of 2 inches on each side. So the 48 will become 44, which is the perfect width of the Jeep. And 84, I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to cut it down to 76 inches because I measured from the front of the Jeep to the back roll bar is 72 inches with that 4-inch difference for the fold over. So I'm going to measure this up and cut it right now. Alright, so the first tip for this video, once you measure out and get to the 76-inch mark, cut a little strip in the end here, then you can bring it to a better spot because I had to measure it out on the floor. And then you basically are just going to cut along the seam because the screen seam is straight across. So you don't have to draw a line or anything like that, just cut straight across the seam. Just like that. So it turns out that that little sewing machine thing sucked. So I actually brought my material over to a seamstress. It was actually I live by the shore, and it was actually someone who sews sails. You can do this on a regular home sewing machine. I don't have one, so that was my solution. They did it for 20 bucks, so I think it was worth it. They got a really nice clean edge. You can see they did the 2 inches, the overlap in the corner. So the next step is going to be to put the grommets in around the edge. So I'm going to show you how to do those right now. And here is a little chart showing you where you should put the grommets and measurements. Alright, so guys, now when you're cutting the holes for the grommets, with this material, it's actually very durable. It's plastic and it has fibers inside, so it's going to be a little bit difficult to cut. Normally you can kind of hammer out a hole using the grommets and the tools it comes with, but what I found in working with this material, the best way to do it is actually to use a razor, and you kind of just make an X in the material. So you're going to pick up at your measured off distance and you very carefully cut a hole into the fabric, and then take your scissors and make it into an X, and then your grommet will go right through, and then you'll be able to do it to smash it very easily. So let me flip this over. And then I'm going to grab my piece of wood here. Put the block in. I've got the wood to protect the grommet pounder. And I'm just going to hammer this. That grommet's going to wrap right into the fabric. Alright guys, so the 12-inch bungees are actually a little bit too long, so we're going to need to cut them down. So I'm going to show you how to cut an 8-inch one, which is what you're going to need for the standard one to go around the roll bar. So you're going to take pliers and pull out the knot from the ball, and you're going to cut off the end, cut off about 2 inches. Let me throw that away. And then you're going to measure against the ruler about 8 inches like that. That's actually perfect. And you're going to tie a knot in the top, just a standard regular knot, and pull it down to the bottom. Slide the ball down a little bit more, because if you had it at 8 inches, it's going to slide it up, because you're going to hold it taut like this and push the knot into the ball. Okay? Then it's not going to go anywhere. Measure it up, make sure you're good, because if it's too long or too short, you can pull the knot back out and slide it back in. But mine is perfect. So I'm going to cut the edges off, trim that down, and then with a candle or a lighter, just when I want to melt the edges, the frayed edges, so it's nice and neat and it won't fray anymore. Just like that, and it's ready to go. Alright, so once you've got everything ready to go, you've got all your grommets in, and I've got all my ball bungees lined up. You're gonna basically just throw this over the roof like so, and I like to start from this corner one. Actually, change that. I like to start from the middle. So the middle one is the smallest one, and you're gonna put it in through that, so the ball's on the inside, and just wrap it around just like that, and that one's in. And now I'll work my way out. So this is the 6-inch one for the front left, just like that. That one's going to tighten up. I'm going to go to this 8-inch one on the side here. Same thing. Now this one, I come up top here so you can see. This one I wrap around over here and hook that onto the ball, and I like to get this little thing there so it wedges in between. So I'm going to bring it around this plastic piece now, so the ball's inside there, and you can bring the cord up and over to the side like this, so it's out of the way and it's more secure that way as well. Alright, now I'm going to move over to the other side in the front. And it's actually kind of easier to do this from the top. Grab my other 6-inch one over here and push that through, come around, go, front other side 8-inch bungee. You can do the same thing over here. I loop it around, and then I want to get that behind the plastic here. And there we go. So the front is nice and tight. Then I'll start with this next middle one. Wrap that around. The other one in the back door. want to keep it tight because I want this pulled back. So I'm going to go behind the speaker. Sometimes it can be a little soft to get on, but that's a good thing. You want them nice and tight. Like that. I'm just going to go straight through and do the back one here as well. And on this back one, go a little further, so flip it down and around, and then slide the ball back so it's out of sight. As you get moving to the end here, they get a little bit harder to do because the whole thing is coming together and going to be nice and tight. One. Now you want to, on these back ones, you want to go make sure you're behind the seat belt. Should have said that on the other one. I did that one. Tuck that one in. And just make sure it's in the center. Looks pretty good. There you go. Now you can leave this up when you put the roof back on, and same thing when you're putting on the Freedom top. You can take the Freedom top off, have the back of it on, and still have just the front sun. It's very, very convenient. So guys, I wanted to give you a quick idea of how much protection you actually get from the sun in here. You can see I'm sitting in here, and the camera is set so that the aperture won't change, so you can see the difference when I step out here into the sun, how much brighter it actually is. So when you're inside and you're sitting in traffic, the sun beating down, it's actually relatively cool in here, even though it's about 90 degrees out. Feels pretty nice. So, all right guys, so enjoy. Here's some aerial views of the roof.